My name is Paul Swanson. I'm from Suburban Newspapers, and I'm here to welcome you today to this third annual Sarpy County Business Hall of Fame induction ceremony. It's great to see so many people here today, and it was wonderful that the timing of this event couldn't have been any better, because we have this event tonight, and it's corresponding with the Thompson family reunion down this hallway right here. Now, when I called Monty Thompson to let her know that John was going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, and of course she was very excited, and I must be needing a hearing aid because Monty says, "Paul, can I get 4 extra tickets?" I said, "Sure, Monty." Well, then I checked with my advertising assistant, and she had ordered 40 extra tickets. Monty, I'm just kidding with you. I'm very happy that you and your family, and to all the inductees and their family and their employees, welcome. We're glad you can make it here today. In 2012, the inaugural class of 7 individuals and 1 organization was inducted into the Hall of Fame. And now, thanks to the support of the 49 local businesses and organizations that are featured on the back of your program, we are here to induct the 2014 Hall of Fame class. I want to give some special recognition to Bellevue University. They have stepped up to be our corporate sponsor again this year. They have been a fantastic partner, and the Hall of Fame would not be possible without them. Their support also includes use of this wonderful facility for today's event. Let's give them a round of applause. Also, a special thank you to Sarpy County CASA, court-appointed special advocate, for being our event host today and catering sponsor. Thank you, CASA. I'd also like to recognize the following elected officials and special guests in attendance today. As I announce your name, please stand up and remain standing. Everyone, please hold your applause till I've announced all our dignitaries. Senator Sue Crawford, Bellevue Mayor Rita Sanders, and we also have 2 Hall of Fame inductees, former Hall of Fame inductees, or 1, I'm sorry, Harlan Falk. Harlan, are you here? Please stand. Let's give them all a round of applause. Representing our corporate sponsor, Bellevue University, is Dr. Mary Hawkins, president of Bellevue University. Since her arrival in 1995, Bellevue University has consistently ranked as one of the fastest growing nonprofit universities in the country. Dr. Hawkins led the development and implementation of Bellevue University's online learning model, one of the most effective in the nation. The university employs over 600 people and is critical to the workforce development of Sarpy County residents and students worldwide. Dr. Hawkins, please join me at the podium.
Well, welcome everybody. We are very, very pleased to have all of you here. You are looking at an institution that really feels part of the community and wants to have community events and community partnerships and people here at the university. As Paul alluded to, we have the Bellevue Chamber of Commerce offices here, and we're looking at expanding to the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, thanks to the work of Jim Ristow. And we've also housed the Omaha Chamber military liaison person here. So we look at this university as a resource to the community and encourage and welcome your use of our facilities. The other thing, I was really impressed with Angela's work. I hadn't seen it before I got here, but the graduates that we've had come through the university are really a who's who in this community and the city. So it's exciting to see the names. We take seriously the value of education in the economic development and growth of our city and of our county and actually the state. Recently I was at an event that was a ribbon cutting for William Brooks, the Disabled Veteran Center over across in our Military Vet Service Center. And many of you may not know, but Bill Brooks, who was a World War II Buffalo pilot who survived the Battle of Midway, was one of the key founders of not only Bellevue University, at the time Bellevue College, but also Midland Hospital. And you have those kinds of leaders who felt so committed to the growth and development of this region that they worked for, fought for, and led the way in the development of Bellevue University, Midland Hospital, many other organizations. So that heritage we hold dear to us, and truly look at our role as part of the growth and development of community, city, state. So we welcome you all here, and pleased to be able to be part of and to be able to sponsor the Sarpy County Hall of Fame. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Hawkins. Bellevue University is a shining star in our community, and we are so happy you could join us today. And some late-breaking news. It's my understanding that there is another inductee. 2012 former inductee Bob Dreesen is in the house today. Bob, can you stand up, please? Welcome. Our event host and catering partner sponsor today is Sarpy County Casa, and we're fortunate to have Georgie Scurfield here today. Georgie is a social worker who has been working as a coordinator of Sarpy County CASA program since 1996. CASA is a volunteer program providing advocacy for abused and neglected children throughout Sarpy County the Sarpy County Juvenile Court. Georgie has a degree in social studies and social work from Hatfield, England. Thank you, Georgie, for your support. We appreciate everything that CASA does for the community, and welcome.
It's difficult sometimes to talk about the fact that some of the children in our community are not well cared for. But in a community such as ours, there are always people who step up. And so I want to talk for a moment about those people. Sarpy County Juvenile Court is currently working with 211 children who've experienced abuse or neglect. 37 of them are under the age of 5. 43 of them have been living away from their parents for more than 2 years. Thankfully, 105 of them right now have a CASA volunteer, a court-appointed special advocate who's a volunteer who is screened and trained and appointed to work with one family at a time. Sometimes, of course, that's just one child. Sometimes it's 7 or 8 or 9. They get to know these children, and they advocate for them in school, in their community, and most importantly, in court, in front of a judge, to help the judge make good decisions for the child. I just want to talk about 3 things that CASA is doing, and then introduce my presiding judge, Judge Lawrence Gendler. CASA is a county-wide program. We serve children in every community across Sarpy County, but we have no presence apart from at the courthouse in Papillion. We would love to have a presence in Bellevue and are working currently on looking at how we can do that and talking to funders about how we can raise the money to have an office and a family visitation center in Bellevue. So look for that news to come. We're working very hard at this moment on that project. If you'd like to know more, or you know somebody you think would make a great CASA volunteer, we have a recruitment breakfast in August where we ask each of our volunteers to bring someone along and for others to come just to learn a little more. That's all we want you to do, is come and find out what it means to be a CASA volunteer. We call it our Each One Reach One breakfast, and you can sign up for more information at the table by the door. Our next big fundraiser is called Little Beds, Big Dreams, and we are partnering with Build Omaha, a builders organization, and they are going to have a home tour, the Home Inspiration Tour, in September of this year. And each home will have a children's bed donated and created by the builder and decorated by the decorator. And we'll have an online auction for those beds. So we hope that the children who sleep in them have big dreams. The children that we serve also have big dreams. They've come from a hard place, but they're going somewhere important. And we believe that absolutely. I'd like to introduce Judge Lawrence Gendler to have a word with you about the CASA volunteers.
I'll be brief. I've been lucky to have this job for almost 22 years, and before that I was in the county attorney's office, 37 years in the same building. And one of the best parts of my job, without question, has been working with Georgie, without a doubt. And she has terrific staff. These volunteers do incredible things. They make sure that youngsters have their favorite lunchbox, their favorite blanket, a favorite book. If they want to go to soccer camp or they want to go to prom, they figure out a way to make sure they go. They do a number of, even after the case is closed, they continue to stay active in their lives. We know many CASAs who are called grandma or grandpa. I got a friend who's a CASA. She still sees the children that she was the CASA for, who've been out of the system and adopted for several years. They make a huge difference, and if you can hearken back to the days when you had your favorite teacher, and you can't go back now and thank them, but you recall what they did for them. In many respects, this is what a CASA has become for a lot of these youngsters. They don't necessarily know it now, but later on they do, and they just make a tremendous difference. I can give you one story. We had a gentleman who was a CASA on a case for over 10 years. The child that he was working with was the first in his family to graduate high school. His father was in the penitentiary, the mother was gone, and whenever this youngster got in trouble, he called his CASA. And he went on to graduate high school, as I mentioned, and he went into the military, and they maintained contact. But there are a number of stories like this, countless stories like this. And when a CASA speaks, it makes a difference. They're just a huge difference in our system. And I can never thank them enough for what they do. They truly make a difference. And all of us in the system are greatly appreciative of what Georgie and the staff do to recruit them. But I'm just incredibly impressed with what they do. I'll give you one more example. We had a CASA that traveled halfway around the world with her child to make sure she got to relatives safely. That's a commitment that just is inexplicable. And it's just it's the kinds of things that they do every day for us. So I appreciate you being here, and I appreciate the support that you can give our CASA program. Thank you.
Thank you, Georgie. Thank you, Judge, for being here. We appreciate everything that CASA does for our community. The 2014 inductees here today were selected by the leadership team from Suburban Newspapers. And it's truly an honor to recognize them here today. I'd like to invite Ron Petak, Executive Editor of Suburban Newspapers, to the podium to introduce the 2014 inductees. Ron?
Thank you, Paul. It's definitely a big pleasure of mine to be here and participate in the Sarpy County Business Hall of Fame ceremony. This is something we've talked about for years, and we were finally able to get this thing off the ground about, was it 3 years ago? And it's just an honor for our papers to be participating in this. So with that, our first recipients are Jim and Mary Beth Harold. Jim and Mary Beth are right out of Central Casting in Hollywood. It's a love story that goes back to when they were younger and living outside of Omaha. They chose to relocate and make Papillion their home. Not only to raise a family, but to explore business opportunities. Jim bought Papillion Barbers in 1968 after a short apprenticeship. And many of the same clients who were getting their haircuts back then are still visiting Papillion Barbers today and still getting the same exact haircuts. Except many of them don't have as much hair. But Mary Beth opened the Papillion Flower Patch next to Papillion Barbers. The Flower Patch soon expanded, and Jim and Mary Beth added onto the building. They outgrew that space and opened up a new building across the street. Mary Beth has been active with Midlands Community Foundation, Papillion Community Foundation, the Sarpy County Chamber, and many floral boards. Jim and Mary Beth have watched downtown Papillion thrive over the years. Both businesses are members of the historic Downtown Papillion Business Association, and the future is very bright in downtown Papillion because of Jim and Mary Beth. With that, please welcome Jim and Mary Beth Harold.
You weren't. See, he steps in the back again as usual. Just the other day, I was having a conversation with my daughter about what we were having for dinner that night. And she says, "Mom, you never cooked. You were always at work all my life." She says, "We had a standing reservation at grandmother's every night." So that just goes to show you that owning a small business with both of us, it took many hours, and we did leave our kids to raise themselves. And to this, we want to say thank you to our kids. And this word is very, very meaningful to us. And thank you all who continue to support our businesses.
I stand up here and I listen to the sponsors, Costa and stuff, and I say, what the hell am I doing up here? But 48 years ago, we started this, and we were very, very lucky and blessed to end up in Papillion and in Sarpy County, and thank goodness we did, because that's the reason we're still here. And everything else, thank you for everybody, and God bless you all. Thank you.
Our next honoree is Frank Coomer, owner of Irwin's Jewelers. If you're familiar with Bellevue, you know that Frank is an icon in Old Town Bellevue. The status that Frank has achieved has been by the simplest of business philosophies: treat others the way that you want to be treated. And if anyone has ever had the pleasure of working with Frank, you know that he lives by those words. Frank bought Irwin's Jewelers in 1989 from Frank Drivas, and that was after an apprenticeship there. He learned the trade there, but more importantly, he learned how much he loved Old Town Bellevue. And he has been a leader in all that time in Old Town Bellevue, active in many of the organizations that deal with the issues that downtown Bellevue faces. He's also served on the Offutt Advisory Board, the Bellevue Chamber of Commerce, and is also a two-term member of the Bellevue Board of Education. Please welcome Frank Coomer as this year's honoree.
Ron, thank you very much. That kind of hurts us both sometimes. I tell you what, for one thing, I'd like to thank the sponsors for this, because every event needs sponsors, and we've all been part of that. And so every event that comes up, if you have an opportunity to be a sponsor, do it, because otherwise these events like this don't happen. So thank you very much, the sponsors. And really, thank you for the award. It's nice to be mentioned in the same breath as some of these past recipients, or people who've gotten it, whatever you call them. But no, it's really great. It really is, and it's fun when you get a chance you know, to go to work. Like I say, you know, I get to go to work. Some people have to go to work. I get to go to work. We have a good product. We have a good staff, good people, wonderful customers, a good town, a good county. It's the best there is. And the other people, I certainly, you know, when you're the boss of the outfit, it just means you work longer, you know. But it really is fun. And thank you very much.
Our next honoree is Brad Stauffer, owner of Gretna Chiropractic Center in Gretna. Brad is that businessman who has found a way to balance his business responsibilities with community interest and participation. And from rubbing elbows with power players in Washington as a representative of the Nebraska Chiropractor Association to being a major organizer of the annual Gretna Days celebration, Brad has been there to do it all. He has helped steer the Gretna Chamber of Commerce in a variety of leadership roles, including many as president. Brad is a committed business owner, volunteer, and family man. Please welcome Brad Stauffer.
Now we got it. Sorry. All right. 1, 2, 3. Awesome.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you to the group. Thank you to the sponsors. I'm really honored to get this award. As they've said, I mean, follow some great people, and I am just honored and feel blessed to be included in that group. And as they talked about with the hard work, I mean, the other thing I want to thank my wife and daughter. Through all that hard work and all those times of volunteer hours, etc., they have tolerated that and been by my side, so I appreciate them very much. And from that hard work, I was lucky enough to grow up in a household that valued hard work and responsibility, and so my mother's here today. I want to thank her for instilling those ideas in me early. But I really feel I've been blessed because as I moved back to Nebraska and settled in Gretna, I've been lucky enough to choose a profession that I really love and that I enjoy treating my patients. And so it's very easy to put the time into not only my patients but into my occupation as well through the Nebraska Chiropractic Physicians Association, and settled in a great community of Gretna that I just love and was lucky enough to find a community that I wanted to invest that time and that effort in. And so it really has been a labor of love because I really do enjoy that time putting it back into the community and making the community better as well, because I think it's important not to work hard at your business but also to work hard at making your community better. So I've been lucky enough to not only be able to do all those things but to enjoy them as well. So thank you to all those people as well, and thank you again very much.
If you know a chiropractor, let me know. Our next recipient is PayPal. And we've all heard of PayPal, but you may not be familiar with the impact it has had on Sarpy County. PayPal has been located in the metro area since 2000 and moved to La Vista in 2003 when it built a 115,000 square foot facility over 15 acres in Southport Business Development in La Vista. They soon added a second location in 2006. PayPal Center has more than 2,500 employees and helps our tax base by paying more than $700,000 in total in real and personal property taxes. Besides the financial impact, PayPal employees are encouraged to give back to the community through employee team giving. The company will also fund many local charities selected by the employees. Linda Dugan, Vice President for Global Operations in Omaha, is here today to accept the award on behalf of PayPal. Please welcome.
Hello, Linda. Nice to meet you.
On behalf of the 2,500 plus PayPal employees, we are honored by Sarpy County's awarding us this treasured recognition of our commitment to Sarpy County and the teammates that live and work there daily. We also would like to thank Bellevue University for hosting this event and the sponsors. We are proud to be part of Sarpy County. We have an amazing workforce that is dedicated and committed to being community partners. And if you didn't see the ad, we are hiring. So again, on behalf of the many PayPal employees that work and live in Sarpy County, thank you so much for this fabulous honor.
Our final award is presented posthumously to John Thompson. On December 4th, 2012, John Thompson sadly passed away from pancreatic cancer. However, his vision for Bellevue lives on. In February of this year, the Bellevue City Council approved construction of an $8 million conference center and a hotel in the Twin Creek Retail District, which was John's vision many, many years ago. John started Twin Creek back in 1978 when he saw 155 acres of rural land and saw what it could be. And today, Bellevue and Sarpy County reaps that from that vision. I learned a lot from John. I'm kind of going off script here for a second. I learned a lot from John. He would come down the paper and we would talk a lot. And the two people that I trusted most to learn about business things happening in Sarpy County were Al Wenstrand and John. And both of them, generally our conversations ended with, I can't tell you anymore. John was a tremendous contributor to the community in addition to the Twin Creek. He was a Navy veteran. He spent 4 years on the Bellevue City Council. He spent 2 terms as an OPPD director. Spent 39 years on the Bellevue Chamber, many planning boards, and thanks to John's work, Sarpy County is going to be home to a National Veterans Cemetery. Here to accept the award, John's wife, Monty, and his 2 sons, Adam and Grant.
My name's Adam Thompson, and on behalf of my father, I would like to thank you all for this award. I know he would be honored to accept it. As I was looking through the past inductees, I saw Joe Dennis's name in there, and I remember how he would always say how Mr. Dennis gave him his business model, that it was to look at where progress was going and find investment in the way of progress. And so when he looked at Sarpy County in the 1970s, he saw that there was a big river that way, and there was an Air Force base that way, and then there was Omaha that way. And so he looked out that way, and he saw that there were cornfields. And so that was where he aimed. And so starting from those humble beginnings, he, along with many other people like Mr. Johnson, and with the help of Mark Anderson and Dennis Rayner, who has now passed away, he started Twin Creek. And you can see what it is today, but what you also need to know is that he saw his business as not just a business, but an opportunity to make an impact, whether that was with the Putt-Putt, which he owned for 30 years, an opportunity to have a fun place for families to go and to make an impact in the lives of the young men and women that worked for him there, or whether it's Twin Creek with the opportunity to create a place where people can come for their various needs, and a place that this community could be proud of. And I know that was always the bigger vision for him, not just dollars and cents, but something that is meaningful and that will last. And so I thank you all once again for remembering him in this way. I know he would have been honored. So on behalf of myself and my family and his business associates and friends, thank you.
Congratulations to all the inductees, and thank you, Ron, for taking time to induct these worthy recipients. I'm sure they will all receive an A+ grade from you in next week's paper. Ron?
Oh, yes.
Yes, okay, good, good. You heard it all here, so make sure he does that. We have seen the beautiful awards that each inductee have been honored with here today. However, many of us have not seen the official Hall of Fame wall. The wall itself is located in the Durham building right here in Bellevue University campus. That building is open to 7 p.m. tonight. It is a very short walk just east of here, so just about half a block down that way. You can run into it, and please take a look down there. As we conclude, it has been my honor to induct these business leaders into the Sarpy County Business Hall of Fame. I'd like to quote Sean Barenclaw, publisher of Suburban Newspapers, who could not attend tonight because of a previous engagement. Quote, Sarpy County, over the past century, has grown from a lightly populated appendage of Omaha to a powerful, prosperous, and thriving community in its own right. This has happened because of energetic and visionary people made it happen. The 2014 Sarpy County Business Hall of Fame inductees are the people who make Sarpy County happen. On your tables, you will find a special edition that highlights all the inductees. Please feel free to take one home. This was published in the Suburban Newspapers and Omaha Rural Herald last week. You will enjoy learning even more about our wonderful inductees in that section. On behalf of Suburban Newspapers, we want to say thank you to our corporate sponsor, Bellevue University, our event sponsor, Sarpy County CASA, the business sponsors listed on the back of the program, and for everyone for attending here today. On your way out, there are 2 tables, one for Bellevue University and one for Sarpy County CASA. Please stop and pick up some literature that they have available for you there. We would also like to congratulate one more time the 2014 inductees. Would the 2014 inductees please stand up and stay standing so we can recognize you with our loudest applause yet. So please stand. We can do better than that. There we go. All right.